Hello everyone, I hope this video finds you doing well. It is Saturday, it is a little bit chilly here in Kansas. We actually have a couple inches of snow on the ground and I'm sitting outside in the sun, so it's not so bad. This video will go over some general things about feedback on your first draft, how I grade the final draft, and general things about the course as we start to wrap up. So please watch the entire video. First things first, all of your papers are returned to you that I know of. So to my knowledge, I have graded everybody's and everybody has their feedback back. So if you do not, either through Blackboard or through your email, please email me ASAP so we can take care of it. About 95% of you had everything back over a week ago. I just finished off the last couple that trickled in. So let's see. Please make sure you can see your feedback on your paper. I put a lot of time into giving feedback to everyone. You have a couple different areas of feedback. First, attached to your grade, you will see your actual paper. I made comments in the paper, edits in the paper, but then also comments in the margins. So make sure you can see all of those. Those are very important. I also gave some general comments in the different rubric areas on the rubric attached to your grade, and maybe some general comments in the main section too. So you potentially have 2 or 3 areas of feedback. Please make sure you can see all of those. Please email me if you have any questions about my feedback or cannot see it. Overall, I was really quite impressed with the first drafts. There were, like most semesters, it's followed a pretty good curve of ones that were really strong and ones that were not so strong and ones in the middle. Something that came up a lot in terms of just a challenge for a lot of people and a lot of the first drafts was just some basic grammatical issues. I would really encourage many of you to please review how to use a comma. There were a lot of people who really struggled with comma placement, either really overusing them or really underusing them when they needed to be used. So there are lots of good websites out there as to help you kind of parse that out. But please review those grammatical things. Also, use of capital letters just in general writing too was something that stood out a lot. But overall, really great work. I was really impressed with most papers, and there are some really great ones, so awesome work, everyone. Let's see. How do I grade the final draft? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm going to pull up your first draft, I'm going to pull up your second draft, or your final draft, and I'm going to compare the two. So I'm going to see if you actually developed your paper or not, if you made the changes that you needed to change, or that were strongly suggested that you change. So rest assured, if you are not making changes, it's going to be pretty obvious because I'm going to have the paper side by side. Now, there's a little bit of wiggle room here. So if you got like a 90 or above on the paper on the first draft, you're not going to have a whole lot to change, and that's okay. So I'm not expecting you to reinvent the wheel. If you put a lot of time and effort into your first draft, then you don't have to do much for your second draft maybe. Maybe you just have a little bit of APA stuff to fix, maybe a paragraph to clean up or something else. You just do what was recommended or what you need to do to clean up the paper based on your feedback. For those of you who, got mid 80s, 70s, 60s, lower on your papers, for your first draft, you have a fair amount of work to do, and I'm going to be really looking at what kind of changes and what kind of effort you put in. Please note that it's pretty clear when people put in time to making the harder changes versus making what I call the surface changes. So if you just change the grammatical stuff that I did for you and don't change like the unorganized paragraphs or the heavy APA formatting stuff or citing stuff or removing your quotations, then those big changes carry more weight, obviously. So please keep that in mind. Last thing, please keep in mind that I did not fix everything in your papers for you. I tried to bold or underline things in the margins that you really need to focus on. But if you cited something incorrectly, I may have fixed it once or twice or 3 times even. but I didn't do it every single time. So you have to go through your paper and you have to fix everything. And that's how we learn, right? I would be doing you an injustice if I fixed your paper for you. So those are some notes on the paper. In saying that, you're not guaranteed the same grade you got on the first draft. So if you got a 78 on the first draft and you literally make no changes, or you make those surface changes, then you can pretty much count on your grade being lower than a 78. The purpose of the second draft is to develop your paper, not to turn in the same one and bank on you getting a 78 again. That's not going to happen. So please just be mindful of that. Work to develop your work. Let's see. We are almost done the course, everyone. So you turned in your partner critiques just the other day, which is fantastic. All you have left is to create and to develop and turn in your final draft from your first draft. So please make sure that you do that. That's all we have left. I'm sorry I don't have the exact due date in front of me here for the final draft, and I don't want to get it wrong. But you have some time, so please work to develop that, and that's all you have left. So one more thing, please note that your grade in Blackboard is likely inflated or higher than it actually is. So if Blackboard tells you that you have a 97% in the class, you may have a lower grade. Please do not rely on Blackboard to calculate your final grade. This is very important. It is inflated because some of you may have realized that the first draft was out of 40 points on Blackboard, but it's actually out of 100 points. I won't get into the details as to why that is. It is a data collection thing that we need to do for the department. But please know that your grade is inflated because of that, so it's going to be a little bit lower. Because if you got even an 80 out of 40, then the system reads you as having 40 points extra credit, which isn't the case. So please note that. The best way to calculate your grade is to go look on the syllabus, look at the points that you need to get certain points in the class, go look at your total points in the class and compare what you have. So please note this, and please feel free to reach out to me with any questions on this, everybody. So I hope everyone has a great upcoming week. It is the week of Thanksgiving, and for a lot of schools, I think if you have children, it's probably fall break. And for the university, it's fall break, even though I know for the majority of you, life just marches on and continues on because we all have very busy lives with things outside of school. So, but I hope you're all doing well. Please reach out to me, and please take care.